wrestling يبقى.
Ding dong. Hello?
Yes, that's right, infidels. You found us here, channelattitude.com, Hameen Media Group, where you get the most real talk, the best reviews of all your favorite wrestling shows from AEW and WWE, Impact, and more, because we're going to break it all down with the best staff in professional wrestling at HMG. So you don't need to go anywhere else, because there's no 5 stars here. There's only $5 face slaps, infidel. Hello, Akbar! So sign up today, channelattitude.com, Hameen Media Group, and join the Hameen Army for the most real talk in professional wrestling. YOLO!
It's Friday! You know what that means! A new era of professional wrestling starts right now with AEW Rampage!
I said I demand a thank you.
What the hell? Good God Almighty, the rope just came off! John Moxley! I don't think he's here to say thanks. His brothers and Young Bucks have been through a war. The thunder and the lightning of John Moxley leaving his mark. The God Almighty, the referee down!
Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to Story Time with Adam Cole.
Darby Allin! He'll take a chance! Pull the goal!
The freaks come out at night. The freaks come out at night. The freaks come out at night. The freaks come out at night.
Discos don't open till after dark, and it ain't till 12 till the party really starts. And I always had to be home by 10, right before the fun was about to begin. Crowds of people lined inside and out, just for one reason, rock the house. But in the daytime, the streets was clear. You couldn't find a good freak anywhere,
The
cause
freaks come out at night. The freaks come out at night.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the HMG Rampage UnCaged show right here on channelattitude.com via Hameen Media Group. I am your host, Jimmy T, and my co-hosts, they're always here to be with me right here for Royal Rampage. It is Chris Statlander, Mr. Chris Ambs, and that's Lambs with no L, well, Ambs with no L. Chris, do you feel royally screwed?
Hello, guys.
Hi,
Hey,
Viv.
Arcadia.
How are you?
She's LWO for life.
Oh, she is too. That's true. That's a nice shirt, actually. That looks good. But before we get to you, Jeff and Arcadia, Chris, what's going on, man?
It's good, man. It's real good. I'm happy to be here. Happy to be on UnCaged. Sorry that I missed last week, but I was, I want to say I was dealing with a car accident last week for this show. So I'm happy to be back. And yeah, I'm happy to talk about Rampage and all of the nonsense that was. Royal Rampage? I don't know. It just seemed like not World War II and not Royal Rumble.
Actually, World War III, you mean?
There we go.
Yeah, but that's a good call, though. And to my bottom right here, not that bottom, but just down here, you know where I'm talking about. It is Dr. Jeff Lippman, or is it Jeff Kennedy Jr.? Jeff, welcome back to Rampage UnCaged, and welcome Arcadia too.
Thank you.
How are you, both of you?
I am doing well, thank you. I am sorry to hear about your accident, Chris.
Thanks,
Nice to meet
Viv.
you. Jimmy.
Thanks, Viv. Yeah, it's all right. Nobody got hurt. It was just kind of annoying because I was like 3 miles away from where I picked up the truck. So, not fun, but it is what it is.
Well, she's here because she wants the world to know she's LWO.
For life.
And
De la muerte y después.
Hey.
Nice.
That is nice. I mean, she's La Sicaria after all. I mean, come on.
Yes, for all
Yeah,
life.
exactly.
No, not for all the life.
Oh, you're not Latina all your life?
Yes, for the Latina, yes. This is like,
Yeah.
what is it?
But not the world order. She wants to be of the subjugated.
No, Latina forever.
Hey.
Obviously,
Latina
she's going to be
forever.
suffering for a while.
I'm my U.S. citizen, but I young Latina forever. I doesn't feel a young, a young U.S. citizen.
The nice thing about America, Viv, is that you don't have to be somebody else. You can be Latina and also be an American citizen, and you can love both of those things about yourself.
Yes,
it's pretty
yes,
awesome.
it's good.
Well, actually, she's a U.S. citizen and an Ecuadorian citizen. In both cases, she's an American citizen.
Yeah, well, I was going to... Oh, true. Well, they do use the US dollar, right? So, I mean...
Well, it's also South America.
And South America. So, I guess that makes you a citizen of America.
They do use... She's got U.S. dollars stashed away in 2 countries, in 2 continents.
Yes, yes.
That's
In my
right.
country too.
That's right. You better.
Yeah, true.
Wait, you already have money stashed away? Why did you marry Jeff?
I had my money. What?
Don't worry. No, he's
I
basically
married
saying
because
like...
I love the guy. And here,
Aw,
I am the
we love
boss here.
him too.
You know, I am
Yeah,
the
we
boss.
do. We do. We love Jeff. Even
Yo
if
entiendo.
he can be... you
Solo
know-
and chisto.
All right, thanks for bringing our ratings
come on.
up.
Okay.
Well, shall we get into Rampage, peeps? Because I'm not going to lie. First of all, I just want to say one thing, and I'll take it to you first, Chris. Why? I'm confused. Was there like some sort of set rules between both rings? Do you know?
As
Because
far
I'm a
as I
little
understand-
off.
As far as I understand, the rules were the same for both rings, but there was going to be a finalist from the red ring and a finalist from the blue ring.
Oh, that's how it goes.
Except
Yeah.
it
How
didn't
does that-
exactly.
Well,
What's
no,
that?
but
Except it didn't exactly. Like there was one person
why I'm asking.
who crossed into the other ring and actually helped eliminate someone in the wrong ring, while other people were told to get back into their regular ring, which is typical for. But I think we can just get into it. But yeah, I mean, yeah, the rules were not as is typical with AEW. They were not clearly stated before the match, and they were not consistently enforced is the words I'm looking for. But I have to tell you, I liked Rampage a whole lot more than I liked SmackDown.
you know what? So did I. I'm not going to lie. I actually think it was better than Dynamite even.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough. And you know what? Maybe even better than Collision. Yeah, I said it. I just said it.
Well,
Collision
not
was a
that
bit...
Collision, that's true.
But we'll talk about that tomorrow, though. Where,
Right.
what do we do, Chris?
We sift through the wreckage.
There we go. Bingo. But one more thing, and I'll ask you now, Jeff. So this was never made clear to me, right? But how did they allocate wrestlers between the red ring and the blue ring?
Originally, I thought that they were just alternating, but I don't think that they stuck to that either consistently. I think that at some point they assigned someone to where the ramp meets the border, the outside of the ring, like the opposite of the timekeepers, or maybe in the timekeepers bell. And at that point, timekeeper told them which ring to go to.
Really?
I think so, because I think that the talent was getting confused.
Well, I'm confused. I mean, think about it. I don't blame him for being confused, Chris. If you were a wrestler and you're in this match, why the hell would you be directed to go to the timekeeper for instructions? I mean, is that silly? I mean, that's amateur hour in many ways.
that is sort of the definition of amateur hour. Yes, all of these things should be discussed. Not the day of even. Like I even, we've heard for years now. Oh, Vince McMahon changes things on the night of, on the day of the show. He's changing things, and I mean, these people aren't fucking like they're not organized enough to know who needs to go where before they're out in the arena. They had to leave it till the last second. That's crazy.
Excuse me. Jeff, how do we break down this match, man? I don't know if I really should be going who come out and when and what, because it's just we're gonna be here all day. But
no, you don't need to do that. I mean, you could always turn. I'm a sucker for a battle royal, so everyone knows that. So, and I'm a sucker for this one. But I guess you can say that the theory of the match was that the competitors they started out with, I think, an initial 4. And it was 2 and 2 in each ring. And then every 2 minutes, I think it was, or maybe 1 minute, another competitor would come out. And one was each allocated to one of the rings, red or blue. And, it was elimination was standard battle royal. It was top row, both feet must touch. And the victor, the prevailing party of each ring's battle royal, would then face each other, and whoever that was would earn a shot at all out, I believe, not all in, at all out for the TNT.
All out, right?
Yeah, which is in like 5 weeks. So we have all in and all out coming out, and okay, I mean, at least they're starting to do something. I mean, this is sort of a cheap way to do it, but I mean, I don't know. They were stuck in the city with 2 rings set up, so why not? I mean, we're seeing WWE doing something that's only marginally less lazy with the U.S. heavyweight semi-tournament. So
semi-tournament, literally.
Right.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, Chris, what do you think pretty much of this Raw Rampage, shall we call it?
I mean, I'm like Jeff. I like battle royals as long as they're done properly. I liked some of this. I liked that for a while there, it looked like Big Bill was getting booked pretty strong. He got a chant. He got an actual Big Bill, Big Bill, Big Bill.
Yeah, no, that was cheesy, man.
But I like it. I think if they're gonna book people based off of their crowd response, then I want more people to chant for Big Bill, because that guy should get booked more strongly.
He should.
The way that this came down in the end, it just seems to me like, I don't know, man. Like if you're Swerve Strickland and you want your career to move in an upward trajectory, are you not really frustrated by the way that you've been booked in AEW? Because he is always, in every situation, the number 2 guy. He is consistently the guy taking the pin at the end. He's consistently the guy who they're relying on to make the match work, or to make the spot work, or to make the feud work, and then he loses. And
he's a giver and a taker, Chris.
He's always the Ken. He's never the Barbie.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean,
sorry.
in that mold, like I'm frustrated for the guy, because I feel like he actually is a lot more talented than a big chunk of the people who they're pushing in AEW. So
true.
But it's amazing.
And also,
go ahead. Sorry, finish one.
Well, and also, Lowell Darby wins, which is becoming a thing. So.
And I predicted this. I predicted that both of them would be at the end, and it's obvious that W will win. But sorry, Jeff, continue, please.
I mean, that's the point, is that it was so easy. Once you saw who was in the Battle Royal, you knew who the last 2 were. The only question is, are they going to give this to Nick Wayne because they want to be completely ridiculous?
God.
But no one else in that Battle Royal stood a chance. It was essentially the enhancement talent Battle Royal, and you have a faction that has 4 people in that faction. And one of them has a semi-alliance with a 6'11" guy who's got abs. And gee, isn't it a shock that even AEW fans sort of like to see a 6'11" Jack guy who has abs, and they get excited for someone like that? No, it's strange to see. Who would have thought that? But you have a faction basically of 5 people, and most of the offense they do is to each other. We're continuing with this Brian Cage and Swerve are on the wrong page, and he prefers
The wrong
Big Bill
page.
and all that. That's. I mean, you couldn't even get Keith Lee in this. He's that.
Oh, yeah,
he's that dusted. You couldn't get him in there. Dustin
Dusted.
doesn't.
I like
mean,
it.
you had Matt Seidel in that.
How old did he look, mind you, in this match? Jeez.
Exactly. I mean, Butcher and Blade. Why bother? Why even bother with a tag team? Put in other people. I mean, they're not in a faction. They're whatever factions they're a part of are gone. You had all three guys and Matt Hardy got it. And I listen. And I know that it's unfair to it may be a little bit unfair to say that Tony Khan books people of color, especially African Americans, poorly. But the first person eliminated from both rings was African American. So, I mean, it's
true though, man.
Mm-hmm.
But don't tell him that because he'll fucking snap.
Like, how was Jay Lethal the first person eliminated in any battle royal? I mean, unless that's part of a story where everything he's doing is going wrong, which is true. Everything he's doing is going wrong, but him and his faction don't think so. And plus, he had a giant outside to catch him and Sanjay Dutt to break his fall. I mean, he didn't need to land on. I don't know but that said, it was silly and it was fun, and it was a battle royal, and it took a long time. It was like 40 minutes of the show, so I can't
cool.
I thought it was cool. I like battle royals. I mean, Nick Wayne looks sickly in this. I mean, he's so emaciated. He's so small. I mean, he looks every bit of an 18-year-old. He might, if you told me he's 16, I'd believe it. It's I find it. Listen, I know wrestling's fake, but I find it offensive when you use someone that waif-like. No matter what they're doing to Brian Cage, it shouldn't matter.
Yeah, that's pretty sad, Chris. I mean, what do you think of what's his name again? Nick Wayne.
Yeah,
I think it's another example of I'm friends with this guy, so we're going to push him. And AEW is starting to become that place. And I don't know, maybe TK just has enough money that he can get over that, business wise. But that is a really, really bad way to run a business if you're trying to portray yourself as the business, the leader in your field. If you're doing that and you're still basically just hiring people because, he was my friend, so he's going to get a good position. I don't know that works long term.
All right.
I mean, we know that doesn't. Even all those big tech firms that acted that way, that everyone fell in love with, they all went out of business. They all failed. And the ones that haven't failed, they all cut their staffs by 75%. And WeWork which was the absolute come to work and play. Like most, VC still funds these places in the San Fernando Valley, Silicon Valley. But, they know that for every one that turns a profit, that 19 of them are going to go belly up. I mean, and that's what happens. Anyway, it's the same kind of philosophy here with Kanzi. But, aside from Nick Wayne, some of the stuff was dopey and who was in there and whatnot. I mean, Commander still needs Alexander Abrahandes for a battle royal. He needs him because he can't.
Dude.
If you need a translator so much that you can't be in a battle royal, then don't go in a battle royal. You have a whole locker full of people who can.
Dude, you know what was fucking stupid and funny at the same time? Seeing Commander and Abrahantes both coming to the ring.
And how they all stood around and they watched Commander struggle with balancing until he finally gave up. And they're still standing there watching.
And they're just sitting there, right, watching. It's fucking dumb, dude.
The wrestlers are so impressed with his acrobatics, they're not bothering to try to get one of the contestants out of the match. I mean, that was dumb. But it got less dumb as it went on, I suppose. I mean, are
you sure?
I'm not sure, but I don't know. I mean, I liked how one ring, nobody got eliminated for a long time, but in the other ring, pretty much everyone got eliminated. It was never more than 4 or 5 people in the, I guess it was the red ring, but in the blue, maybe I have it backwards, but in the blue ring, it was always 7 or 8 people.
Chris, were they trying to be woke here by having a red ring and a blue ring, if you get my drift? I mean, the red pill or the blue pill?
I don't think that they had that level of I don't think they had that level of thought to this. I think it was just Well, do we have different colored ropes so that we can do something a little different before blood and guts? Yeah, well, we've got blue and red. All right, then put the blue and red ones on.
So then why did they have... This is what puzzled me. It was recorded right after Dynamite, Blood and Guts, right?
Well, a year ago, Jimmy, you posited this theory that it was for Raw and SmackDown. So if we harken back to Jimmy T of about 12 months ago, that was his theory. Do you still stick with... I mean, because that theory makes a little sense.
I actually don't remember saying that, funny enough. So you got a good memory. I probably did say it. I'm not saying I didn't. But it's funny that you bring that up because I actually don't remember. But why not?
This is your brain on drugs.
SmackDown. Yeah, exactly. I must have been tripping.
This is a PSA from the PWC.
Well, in this case, from the HMG. But yes, we are also the PWC guys. But, Chris, you brought up an interesting point also earlier, and I wanted to say this earlier, but I'm going to say it now. You do, absolutely you do. But you mentioned about Swerve always finishing second best. Well, maybe it's all in the name, right? He gets swerved every time.
Maybe. But again, like looking at this as an outside perspective, I'm looking at this, and I think Swerve is one of their most talented wrestlers, and I really think that. I don't understand why they just keep using him to eat the pin for everything.
That's a shame
and for what? So that we can push Darby Allin again to get a shot at
right?
Again,
it's the same old shit.
But we've had 3 years, 3.5 years,
3 years of
Darby Allin being at or near the top. It hasn't done anything for you. Why not try with Swerve? Why not answer the critics? Whatever the case might be. But you're right. I mean, but Jimmy, were you suggesting that what Swerve needs to do is, maybe aim for a better kill shot?
Oh, maybe he should. I mean, maybe he should have his finisher called the Colonizer, as Tony Schiavone said during the commercial break. Well, see, actually, I want to bring that up because, well, this was after this, to be honest. And actually, wait. I mean, do we need to talk any more about this Royal Rampage? We pretty much.
We should at least mention who won and how.
We did. We mentioned that Darby won.
I mean, just because you brought up something from the wrong show on this show doesn't mean
no. It was on this show, as a matter of fact. But
there's only like one other match and 2 other segments on all of Rampage.
Well, 2 more matches technically.
Okay.
Unless if you want to count Marina Shafir and that alien that's not an alien anymore. But anyway, yeah. Darby Allin does end up winning, I guess, via what happened exactly at the end. Swerve went to eliminate him. He held on to the rope, basically. The Darby good old switcheroo.
Darby did the Tope Suicida. He dove through the middle rope, so he didn't go over the top rope. First, they said Swerve landed first, but then somebody corrected and said, well, Darby went through the middle rope, so he wins. He's not eliminated. He didn't go over the top rope.
But did Swerve go... See, I didn't see this. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. But did Swerve go over the rope in the first place before he landed on the apron?
Yeah, they both did. They were both like playing around over the top rope and wrestling on the apron, which is the dumbest thing that people do in battle royals. Well, the second dumbest thing. The first dumbest thing is going to the top turnbuckle, but
that's the dumbest thing you could do. That's a fact for sure. But they continue to do it. Just ask Commander Pants, right, Chris? I mean, the guy can walk a top rope, dude.
He sure can.
Sometimes
he can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. When he can't, you know what happens? Meh. Seriously, he sucks. And what I want to bring up about Abrahantes, did you notice he was literally sniffing his friggin' commander from the back? As they were running out, no shit. He was like this, they're running out like little gremlins. But he's right up his ass, man. Like, do you want to get any closer? I'm like, fucking seriously.
They're very close friends. I mean, is Abrahantes now the official, manager of all luchadors except for Jolistico? I mean, is that
well, when did Commander, when did Abrahantes become the manager of Commander? Who's commanding who?
On either Ring of Honor or being the Elite.
Oh, for sure, Ring of Honor. Did you? Yeah, I don't know about being the Elite, but definitely Ring of Honor. Actually, did any of you guys, and I know the answer to this, except maybe Jeff, might have watched it. Who knows? But did anyone watch Death Before Dishonor?
I watched 0 Hour, and it was terrible.
Actually, I'm hearing now from even the hardcores, Chris, that, and I know you haven't probably watched an episode, but I'm hearing that Ring of Honor is becoming pretty bad.
Well, yeah, because it's being booked by Tony Khan. Doesn't matter what the fucking name of the company is. AEW could change its name to WCW, and it would still suck.
Oh,
like
they shouldn't.
As long as Tony Khan is booking, it's gonna suck. So ROH will suck. And if they bought the rights to the AWA and Tony Khan was booking, it would suck.
He'd call himself Tony Gunja. I mean, I know Chris, you're not impressed, but come on, you know he would.
Nah, he probably would. Yeah, do something like that. Put someone in charge and pretend like they were in charge there, like he already did in AEW, where he's like, oh no, this dude who no one's ever heard of is in charge of creative now, and everyone went, huh? That fucking guy from the dirt sheet is in charge now, and then nothing changed. Absolutely nothing changed about the way the show was booked. So,
well,
we don't believe you. You need more people.
Well, Chris Williams says in the chat, I must say, after watching this week, Rampage was semi-better than SmackDown. Maybe it was the FS1 thing, but damn, fucking Impact was actually better. Much love, you guys. Best review crew ever. Why, thank you, Chris Williams. We always appreciate that, man. So that means the world to us.
I don't think it was semi-better than SmackDown. I think it was outright better than SmackDown. And we talked about this on Smack Attack. I don't think it was the FS1 thing, because if they were planning according to FS1, they wouldn't have had Roman Reigns on this week.
It was pretty stacked. It just felt off, like whatever that is. You know what I mean?
As far as Impact, no idea. I mean, truly, I have no idea. I haven't watched Impact. I've seen one Impact show since they left. Whatever was Destination America. Whenever they moved to Axis, I've seen one show.
Well,
and that was one with Sami Callihan and Kenny Omega had the no disqualification match.
Well, Jeff, they went from Destination America to Destination Unknown.
Hey.
Yeah. See what I did there?
I know where it is, but literally I have no access to Access.
Destination Unknown. Ruby, 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 Soho.
Well, it's
Destination Unknown by Missing Persons.
Yeah, I was actually going by that one, actually, to be fair. But since you bring up Ruby Soho...
Jesus Christ, guys, we're doing a wrestling review here.
No.
Yeah, I mean, we're marked-tards, but not that marked-tardy.
But Missing Persons does fit just with Destination Unknown, Missing Persons, you know.
Yeah. Right. Where the fuck are they? I mean, you know what I mean? Well, anyway... before we move on, anything else we need to say about this matchup, or shall we just proceed?
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess we should say that the Darby Allin will be facing either Christian or Luchasaurus for their TNT title.
For their TNT title.
At All Out, because it's still very much a question as to who the champion is.
Haven't we seen this feud before, Chris? Yeah, I know. I feel you, bro.
Darby versus Luchasaurus or Darby versus Christian?
Either one. It doesn't matter.
I feel like no.
No, I'm pretty sure.
Have we
I'm pretty sure you're thinking of Jungle Boy, who until very recently was basically interchangeable with Darby Allin. So,
actually, that's a good point. That's actually
true. and now he's interchangeable with Chris Jericho and Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara and 6 other heels on this show. So.
Interesting. Yeah. But what about the Stinger?
I think it's interesting that we've only seen him once since he banged his chin and has lost his tooth on TV since then. I mean, I honestly think that he got like a hairline fracture on his chin.
Well, he did go chin first.
Yeah, I think he's injured. Everyone let on, which they do all the time in AEW. Why else would you take Sting off TV for this long?
Why would you get stung by yourself?
Who could have possibly imagined that a 67-year-old man climbing up to the top of a fucking ladder and then jumping off of it through several tables that were 20 feet away, where he has absolutely no possibility of cushioning his fall, might get injured? Why would anyone think that? That's nonsense.
Oh, man. And you know what's even crazier, guys? The fact that he's being influenced by these idiots is what troubles me. For real.
Yeah. The veterans are supposed to be influences over the young people, but what human
Right.
nature teaches you is that everyone wants to be in the in crowd, and like all the veterans are acting like the kids. They're not acting, and they're just having fun, which is great. Have fun at work, but it doesn't make for a better product. So,
if that's what they call fun, I want nothing
there
of
are
it.
other veterans, so they've
You
had
can
10
have
long
fun
years.
If you
Go,
can have
Chris.
fun while you're being productive, great. And if not, then have fun when you fucking go home. You're getting paid.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, shit. It doesn't take fucking rocket science to figure that one out, right? But Sting, I guess, we just call him the Stunger. I
Okay.
mean, that's what he does. He stungs
you-
himself all the time. I
The
will.
stanger.
Oh, the stanker, shall we say, at this point. I mean, I love Sting, but damn it, Sting, please, settle down. Stop listening to the young guys. Please.
The only
You know
time
better
I
than
ever
that.
saw the appeal in Sting is literally when he didn't say anything for a year.
I agree.
Actually,
That-
I
love
agree.
his career. I've said that
100%.
I
I was never the biggest Sting fan until that point.
And I never was after. I didn't care afterwards either.
Right, I mean,
Wolfpack
seriously.
Sting, I don't care. Go back to
I
shutting
loved
up and
Wolfpack
saying the
Sting, though.
Raptors.
Yeah, but
Mike has
yeah,
good AJ
that's-
hair.
Well, no, AJ had Sting hair.
Oh.
Big difference. I mean, woo, Wolfpack in the house.
But the hair is the consistent thing. You like that hair, Dave.
That's true. Well, I don't know, man, but I don't like this Sting. This Sting in 2023 is, I don't know, man. He should call himself the Suicide Blonde and go back to surfing. I mean,
he should just call it a career. I mean, you know.
all that. There's that too.
But he
I
can't
mean,
now go out like this. He's got to find some way to like go out on his own terms.
But why? What's it going to achieve?
Because that's
Nothing.
what attention whores do.
And that's sad because, Chris, I would have never thought he was an attention whore, man, but I guess I'm wrong.
He's a professional wrestler who's a former world champion. Can you name one who isn't an attention whore?
Good point, actually. I take that back. You're right. That's true. But I thought he was Christian as fuck at this point, dude.
So is Shawn Michaels. I still wouldn't trust Shawn
Yes.
Michaels with my girlfriend.
Christian AF, please. They're so full of shit, these. Anyway, I won't even say anything because they're pro wrestlers. Their job is to fucking pretty much bullshit. You know what I mean? That's their profession. I'm saying that in a positive sense too. I mean, isn't that what they do? They party and bullshit.
They're supposed to convince you that make believe is real.
Problem is, they're not convincing me anymore, Jeff, and that's a problem.
They're adult pretenders. So
They're adult pretenders, yeah. Cheers to that. Dr. Pepper, indeed. You're making me jealous. I want
great.
Dr. Pepper now.
I know,
Sorry,
I
Jeff.
sort of do a little bit of zero sugar now. I'm out.
Yeah, actually, boo. Zero sugar,
I'm
please.
all about the sugar. So yeah, pour some sugar on me like Def Leppard. Anyway,
Oh, nice.
so yeah, so I guess we can move on to the next segment, whatever it was.
I
'cause
guess
apparently
we can.
I forgot 20% of the show. So
That's okay, because I'm here to remind you,
excellent.
as a matter of fact, because this was kind of funny. I will say that. It is Daddy Ass and the Acclaimed versus Johnny TV, QT Marshall, and the solo named Aaron. Not
So once
Sokoa.
again, my bold prediction was wrong. That this was going to be Hobbs in there, and there was going to be that I'm the biggest, toughest guy, and you can't knock me out. Nope, that didn't happen. Aaron Solo was in the ring.
Well, Chris and Jeff, actually, but I'll go to Chris first. Did you watch Rampage via the online feed of TSN or via your cable box? Oh, so you did watch the online thing. Did you get the commercials?
no.
Oh, good. So you know what I'm talking about when I say colonized or colonized.
Yeah. Listen.
Dude.
The thing is, Americans don't really understand the hot button issue that is. Like, some of them have like a basic understanding of exactly why that's a bad thing. But like Australians and Canadians really know. Like, we really get inundated because like basically because our Aboriginal people survived and are still around. Whereas
Our
in
one's
the States,
barely
they basically
survived. Just saying.
shot them all and sent the rest to fucking Kansas City. Like there's no more aboriginals there, so nobody gets pissed off about the word colonizing or colonizer or colonized. But here and in Australia, people get really fucking sensitive about that word.
No,
I
they
guarantee
do.
you
That's
that
true.
Tony Schiavone saying that had no idea that he was going to insult people in a bunch of other countries.
What did he say?
Well, first of all, which you probably didn't see, which should have
I
been
get commercials.
right, and that's the thing because I felt like this was sort of not an important part, but it should have been.
Yeah, but
on
just
television.
say what he said. I mean, we've been talking 5 minutes.
Well, I'm getting to that. Because it
the
involves
audience-
a move.
Okay.
Johnny TV. This was ridiculous, mind you, Jeff. Just picture this: Johnny TV was spinning on his head while QT Marshall and fucking what's the other idiot's name? Solo were holding his legs. Right now, picture this, and was spinning around like he's breakdancing on top of. I can't even remember who he was on top of, but he was spinning around, right? Like they're literally spinning him while holding him by the legs, right? And then Schiavone being
it was
unimpressed.
a human corkscrew is what that was the offensive move.
Well, yeah, and then
He's basically
and then
a dreidel.
Yeah, something like that. You got to see it. It's
A
ridiculous,
space
right?
dreidel to make Chris happy.
Yeah.
It was the screw job, literally. Right? It looked like a screw.
Okay,
literally.
so what did Tony
a screw.
Schiavone say?
And then Schiavone's
this
like so
awesome
unimpressed. He's like, he was just unimpressed. He goes, "Mwah," literally like this. And he's like, what are they going to call it next? The colonizer? And I assume he meant like drilling in the backside, but there's two
like
things.
it was
here,
the
but-
colonoscopy, which would
Right,
mean
right.
they were like shoving him up his ass.
Yeah, basically, he's calling them all gay as well on top of that. But and Jericho was just like, "What'd you say, Tony?" You know what I mean? Like he
When
goes,
Jericho was calling you out on things that you shouldn't say. I mean,
right, exactly.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I was alluding to, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like seriously. I mean, but anyway, this match, I love the rap when it comes to Max Caster, man. Unfortunately, I don't think I've got it in my notes. I mean, Jeff, you're usually good at remembering the raps. Do you remember pretty much what he said?
I honestly don't.
No one?
It was something about that. There was a reference to Harley Cameron being like a discount Barbie and stuff
And
like
a
that.
porn star and the two girls in one cup thing. But I think it was alluding to the boys as being the two girls.
Yes, see, those are things I don't understand those references, but I do.
You don't know
I
what
do
two
know
girls
that-
in one cup is?
No, I don't know what that is.
Please look it up whenever you get a chance. I know Chris knows. No, Chris, don't say no. Don't tell him that.
It doesn't
No,
matter what
Jeff's
you
yes.
I'm definitely not going to do it.
Please, you have to. You have to. Just do it, please. You got to just look it up.
It's not happening.
Oh, no, you don't tell him either. Anyway, just do it, all right? Like Nike. I'm just saying. Anyway,
I don't
it's
listen to them
disgusting. Anyway, what's it called? The Acclaim and Daddy Ass win this match. I mean, this was just ridiculous. There was a lot of ass references, I guess. A lot of colonizing. Yeah, either way, if you know what I mean. But nevertheless, Daddy Ass, I want to point something out that
But the match wasn't bad. But Hobbs,
no, it wasn't bad.
Hobbs did not he wasn't part of the match. He didn't distract. He didn't come out during the match. He didn't come out after the match. Nothing. I mean, what was this all about? Wasn't this all about like
he's walking
apologizing
again.
to Hobbs and getting
No.
him in the crew?
He's writing the book of Hobbs Part 2, Jeff. Haven't you heard?
Well, it does. It was so well received. It needs a sequel. So this whole thing is
Received
about
very
them
well.
going back up the trios rankings, of which there are no rankings, and they already had a title shot booked for the next day, so they had to have this match against a trio team that has never been in competition together as a trios team and have a record of 0-0, and actually probably between all of them combined in AEW have a record of somewhere in the neighborhood of like 3-34.
Yeah,
All three for Johnny TV.
Maybe.
He doesn't look happy, to be honest. Is it just me? Does he not look unimpressed? Like he doesn't
Would
even want to
you
be
be?
there? No, I wouldn't. That's my point. I mean, he really didn't
There
look
were
like...
exactly two ways that you could have made this segment mean anything. Okay, you could have had Powerhouse Hobbs come out and do something, or you could have had Johnny TV do something. Neither of those things happened. So this was just a big waste of fucking time.
Except for a human corkscrew. Fucking ridiculous, man.
Moves!
Ridiculous.
Cool!
Yeah. I don't understand how that hurts you spinning someone's head on.
You have to just look it up. It's
you're
ridiculous.
actually holding their weight up. So even if you were like doing the perpendicular line on a horizontal
literally,
body,
they were spinning him around while he's on his head on top of the opponent.
like the only offensive use is the weight.
I'll tell you what. I'll make a deal right now with Johnny TV. You are allowed to do that move to me as long as I can follow it up by punching you in the face with my right hand one time.
Oh.
I'll trade it.
You know what's funny, Chris? I'm not even sure he was expecting that to happen in a way. It kind of looked weird, dude. But I don't know, man. It was weird. And then I was splitting his legs like he's doing the splits almost. Well, yes, yeah, I know, Jeff. You got to see it. It's ridiculous.
I'm glad it was during the commercial.
I mean, Shivani made that part. But anyway, it's weird. It's stupid and
you know
weird.
They say, don't miss a thing in picture-in-picture. I go right to fast forward.
I don't know what to tell you, Jeff. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, yeah, like I said, the Acclaim win. Johnny TV is going to Johnny Oblivion next. That's the word on the street. And the word on the
Johnny
street is
DVR.
Hobbs. Yes. Johnny DVR. That is fucking good. That's perfect. Johnny DVR. That's all he is from now on. That's what we're going to call him. Johnny DVR. That's it. You don't need to see him live. You can just watch him a lot later if you choose to. And I'm sure people probably wouldn't choose to. I'm sorry.
Do you think Tony Schiavone will then make a joke about diverticulitis?
Why the fuck wasn't there someone called that? What AW event was that sort of highlighted? Do you remember that? Anyone? I know you do, Jeff.
I didn't, but didn't Brock Lesnar have diverticulitis?
Yeah. They called there was a jobber, if memory serves me right. See, clearly subliminally, we all remember this. We just don't remember exactly what happened. But from what I do recall, there was a jobber against someone. I can't remember who it was, and that's what they called him. Okay, and everyone was like, "Ooh, they're doing a rib to fucking, to Brock
the
Lesnar."
history with Brock was that he got diverticulitis while he was hunting
and nearly died.
He nearly died in the hospital because, regardless of what your liberal friends will tell you, the Canadian healthcare system is not fucking fantastic sometimes.
Really?
Brock immediately, after nearly dying, crossed the border into the United States, and after
really? Did he go back over to the US?
Yes, and after receiving
Wow.
the treatment that you receive when you pay for it, he basically got better. But that bout basically took him out of cage fighting for about a year and a half. And when he did return, he was just never able to put things back together again. I think one of the first things that happened was he got punched in the stomach by Alistair Overeem, which you know anything about Alistair Overeem, that's not the guy to get punched by. So
I know
was it a kick? It could have been a kick.
It sounds a little bit like Ovaltine and ovaries. So
wow,
a little bit.
Yeah, Ovaltine. I love Ovaltine, man. It's nice. Yeah. I haven't had that in many years though.
But you hate ovaries.
But well, it depends. But anyway, let's not talk about ovaries though. This is not the ovaries show, or Ovaltine for that matter. But you threw me off though, Jeff. God damn you.
Sorry.
Now, yeah, that's okay. It's all good. Not really, exactly. But whatever the case is, it's stupid. This is stupid, but it was a decent match. Whatever. Spinning and all.
Bad. I mean, it was fine. The match was fun. It was just not what I was expecting at all.
And after the match, Bowens cuts a promo hyping up their trios title match against their House of Blackness tomorrow night. Well, technically tonight on Collision, but we'll get to that tomorrow. Anyway, next we see Mark Henry saying it's time for the main event. And if this is what a main event is, just shoot me, Chris. It is Statlander versus the You Don't Know Me girl in Marina Shafir.
Jeez.
Main event.
Why is no one talking to Mark Henry anymore? Like, why is he being paid to just say that line? I mean, it's fine, but it only makes sense when he's doing the interviews don't have to be in person. They can record it all. It can be pre-recorded, and they can pretend that it's live and simulcast, which they did a few times. But this is just, it's like almost disrespectful. Like what? Like who are these two women to not talk to Mark Henry?
Well, can you imagine these two women talking to Mark Henry? I mean,
No, but it's going to happen anyway. And actually, in this case, it didn't. They just showed like promo highlight, not highlight, like video packages of it. They barely spoke. But then at some point, did we see Chris Statlander? She was back with the best friends and like Darby and Nick Wayne.
That was Wednesday. This is another planet right now. This is a different universe. Forget that. Remember, where's the neuralizer?
Right. So she's still with the best friends, but she's not. I mean, she still acts like a heel.
She's just a friend now. Get it? A friend?
She's in the friend zone.
Yes.
Well, we've had enough pre-recorded videos. It's time for the main event.
Oh no, I should never say it because I can't.
More like Tiny Lister.
Ooh, Zeus.
That's what I think of with Mark Henry in this position. Like,
actually, speaking of Tiny Lister, did you download the latest DLC?
The answer is no.
Chris?
Whatever you're asking. I know you didn't.
The answer is no. But Chris, did you?
No.
It's got Zeus in it, man.
Really? Like Zeus?
Yeah, and he's cool in the game, I must say. Yeah, absolutely. And with his 80s theme too, pretty cool.
It's cool in the gang. Is that what you said?
No, I see what you did there. Mm-hmm. Actually, hey, they're great rappers. Anyway,
they were not rappers.
There's rappers. Well, you don't know.
Cool in the gang. I think you're thinking about Cool Mo D.
No.
Anyway. Cool in the Gang was like a disco band. Like Cool in the Gang did like Celebration.
Were they?
Yeah.
Well, really celebrate
that's
good
cool,
times. Right? Come on.
Like it's too hot, baby.
Well, that's why the song "The Freaks Come Out at Night" too, Jeff.
Gotta run for the shade 'cause you're too hot.
Chris's face says it all. Do you like when Jeff sings? Chris?
Who doesn't?
I love when Jeff raps. I want a whole album.
Oh, yes. We have to. Man, I'm going to drop a beat one day for you, Jeff.
Except I legitimately want like a whole album of Jeff rapping like hardcore DMX lyrics and like.
But all about
all the
what
words,
he hates about wrestling, though.
You know what I mean?
Like
singing
absolutely
all
just
the words.
And at the end, he's like, "You can't teach that." Anyway, what would you call yourself? Like, would it be MC Lippman? Lippman Iced Tea? Get
Evil
it?
Dose.
How about?
Evil Dose. True. Sorry.
Evil Dose Lips.
Evil Dose Lips.
I mean, the only thing that the last name Lippman is good for is to be a rapper, right?
Yeah, just Lippman. Well, speaking of rappers, and oh no, please. I've actually, Chris.
Please
I don't know. Maybe you've heard of him.
You know the picture that I'm referring to right now. That's
or maybe the character that Hulk Hogan played in the Rocky movies.
Thunderlips.
Thunderlips.
Yeah. Ah, true.
MC Thunderlips.
Well, speaking of Jewish rappers, actually, Chris, have you heard of Little Dicky?
Yes, of course.
Would Jeff be Little Dicky?
I think he'd be more like Bless if we're going based on Jewish rappers.
Do you know who Little Dicky is?
Mike D.
No, sorry.
You want Mike D and I get respect. The cash in your jewelry is what I expect.
See, I love this shit. It's great.
Oh man, that's.
I was
golden.
just listening to Platinumberg the other day, actually.
Platinumberg.
Yeah, that's the record from Bless. Bless, by the way, who basically nobody ever heard of, and then all of a sudden he was in the Def Jam Fight for New York or whatever.
Great game though.
Yeah, and then like all of a sudden he's got like an album, and it's like he's a Jewish rapper, guys, and it's like yeah, but nobody's ever heard of him. Anyway, I downloaded his album because I'm a ridiculous mark for hip-hop.
You did what?
Like forever ago. So it's like on on my computer. So I was listening to it.
Did you
it's a decent No, it's a decent like couple of tunes on there. The opener's good.
Turns out it's Seinfeld.
Doom, 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 doom. Starts busting. Do you know who Little Dicky is actually, Jeff? You don't know who Little Dicky is? Oh man, check him out. He's funny. But anyway, and he's Jewish. And then he's a tight ass on top of that. I'm just saying.
Sounds great.
I'm sure he's got all this money, yet he goes and asks people to like borrow their car, like their Lamborghini or their house, to do a rap video. But anyway, he's funny. Pretty funny indeed. Guys, look, there's not much to say here about this match. I know we're going under an hour, but shit. I mean, what else can we really talk about with this show? Even though we make it... Sorry, Jeff.
This might have, and this is not a high bar, but this might have been Chris Statlander's best wrestling match back. So
really?
She's been back. I'm not saying it was great, but they've been pretty piss poor to be like. It didn't look like she was all over the place, and she didn't do something stupid like where she jumped up high and landed low on her knees. I mean, she stopped doing that. She's still acting like a heel and doing the sign language with like a grumpy face while she's doing it, and doing flexing. But I didn't think the match itself was average. Now. So I'm not like, crooning over the moon about it, but like all of her prior matches have been bad, and most of Marina Shafir's matches were bad, and this match wasn't bad. Was it the main event? No, but it wasn't. It was fine. It was okay.
It was pretty bad. I'm sorry. Listen, it probably is Chris Statlander's best match since she came back, but it was still a bad fucking match, dude. Marina Shafir,
sorry, Jeff. It was bad.
Awful.
It was fucking bad.
And,
it's not
she's been training for like 6 fucking years. She is truly awful. Years? She doesn't know. Seriously, is it not fucking 6 years?
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah,
it's been 6 fucking years. She's still this bad.
My can't fucking learn anything, girl.
At one point, she put in. At one point, she tried to do like a leg lock thing or whatever, right? And it was so bad that literally, like, Statlander looked behind herself, like, "What are you doing?" The announcers even said, "I'm pretty sure that submission was kind of freestyled there." It's like, yeah, because she didn't know what the fuck she was doing.
It was backwards, wasn't it? She got the whole thing backwards. Like she pulled a Natalia where she's trying to do the sharpshooter, but instead she's doing like a front shooter.
Front shooter. That sounds very sexual, Jeff.
Everything to you sounds sexual. I mean, go get laid already. Come on.
Wait. Come on now. I get enough of that already, please. But anyway,
D.
No, shh. No. Anyway, look, maybe it was Statlander's best match. I mean, I don't even care if it was or if it wasn't. But again, why do you get 2 women or 2 wrestlers that can't really like carry a match?
Because Tony Khan thinks they can? Oh, it's the other one.
No, that's a rare appearance by the other one.
I know. That's Arya. We usually see Arya.
Yeah,
no,
I know.
You usually
Freya. Yeah,
that is Arya.
Oh,
actually, from when she was young, she always made appearances on the show. She was never shy.
She's really
they were actually just at a powwow here in Northwestern Ontario.
A powwow. Ah. It's funny. Actually, I recall one time when we first started doing this, because it always sticks out. One day, like, me and Chris were doing probably a skirmish, and his kids were just going bananas. Like, I mean, they were going crazy, and he's losing his shit where he's like, fuck this, gets off the headset, right? He goes to take off to tell off his kids and whatnot, but one of them, which was Freya, it's done the good sneakeroo and came onto to talk to me. She puts the headset on. I started laughing, and I'm like, "Does your dad know you like that you're over here?" And she's like, shakes her head. I'm like, "That's funny." I started laughing, and then he realizes when he comes back, he's like, "Ah!" That always stood out. But yeah, Arya never makes appearances. It's true.
Yeah,
but that's funny. Your kids are funny, dude. They're great. Honestly,
they're pretty hilarious. I gotta say, I love them.
But Freya though is definitely like a chip off the old block.
I don't know where the remote is. Go find it.
The remote. Oh shit. Anyway, let's I think we're done. I mean, there's nothing much more to really talk about.
Isn't that our new thing?
Yes, it is a new thing. And I'll start first. If I was to give it a grade, I did enjoy the show. I know it doesn't sound like we did, but we're just pointing out stupidity on the show. That doesn't mean it was an awesome show, because to be fair, I don't think any show this week really was spectacular. I mean, there really wasn't. So in saying that, I did think this was possibly the better show of them all. And I'm going to give it a B because I kind of liked it. I think it was Raw Rampage that really did it for me, though. Chris?
I'm going to say C-, which, like, I know that sounds harsh, but for me, a C- is pretty decent. Like, it means that, like, you know, I watched the show. I didn't want to be literally anywhere else in the world, which is my sort of bar for an F, right? Like, if I could have literally just went to sleep and been happier with my time, that it gets an F. But you know, it's like a C-. There were some decent things about it, but then I mean, you're trying to main event with fucking Marina Shafir. You're never gonna get like a great grade from me. I don't care.
No, and really, this show should have been just all about Royal Rampage, just the whole show. Just have that, and you know what? Maybe we would have even liked it even more. Actually, right?
Honestly, if they would have just built to that instead, yeah, that probably would have been the better main event. Yeah.
And actually speaking, you said a key word, Chris, build to that. They didn't even really build to this. There was hardly any mention.
He never has any time to build because he's just thinking about these things off the top of his ass. And
not his head.
And it's a good thing he remembers everything about wrestling for the last 30 years so he can come up with these gimmicks.
I'll give him that. Right.
Or at least he remembers he did it last year. But
wait, did he do it last year?
Yeah, they did something similar. It was 2 years ago last year. I mean,
I don't even remember.
Before.
Wow.
I don't know if they called it the Rampage Royal, but
I don't think it was
Rampage. But
the Rampage Royale.
They've done this 2-ring gimmick before. Listen, we could have had people pushed who don't need it. We could have had Jeff Jarrett winning again. We could have had Matt Hardy winning. Instead, they got this match. I mean, there's a whole lot of things that could have happened worse. And I like a battle royal, and so I'm going to be sort of between the two of you. I'm going to go B- because I really, really hated SmackDown. I don't know if I watched this alone that I would have been so generous, but after SmackDown, which I could have, you know how people say I don't give an F. I would like to give all of the Fs to this, but in the negative connotation, like SmackDown deserved all the Fs I could possibly give.
I couldn't believe you guys on the Smack Attack yesterday. I was actually quite surprised. I was like, wow, all of you gave it an F, which I can understand. Like I said last night or earlier.
It was a really bad show, Jimmy.
It was. But the thing is, it was pretty stacked, right? Technically, it was stacked, but just no energy or like anything.
That's less.
I don't care about that. I love Bret Hart and Chris Benoit. Do you know how many shows during WCW Nitro that had Bret Hart and Chris Benoit on it and were still pretty shit? Like that happened.
That's true.
Once. Those are my two favorite wrestlers.
Well, you have a show and the show is bad. That's
bad.
That doesn't help the case.
That's what I'm saying.
That solidifies the case for because it shouldn't have been with all the star power. I mean, on paper. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, this show, I basically enjoyed this hour. I mean, it felt like the old Rampages, which are sort of fun, basically throwaway, but sort of fun. And it was 60 minutes. I didn't feel like I wasted my time. Like some of it was goofy and dumb, and we talked about that more than we should have, because that's what we do, especially me. But honestly, it's hard to cover the blow for blow in the order of anything in a battle royal. I mean, the only thing I do feel it needs some criticism for, and we forgot to mention earlier, is that I believe it was Nick Wayne who switched from blue ring to red ring.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
And him and Darby Allin eliminated, some fairly major competitor theoretically anyway. And then Nick Wayne finally remembered he was supposed to get into his other ring, and other people knew better. Like other people who like Khan and Toa Leone, they didn't go into the other ring to help out the embassy. And there were other people you could tell wanted to and didn't. And I think there was even a time where a ref said, "No." So they were
refs.
Yeah, I think that even Commander might have stopped one of his tightrope acts because he realized he was going too far and he would have had to use the other ring, and if he went out of the ring, he would have basically eliminated himself. So I don't know, but that was but he's Nick Wayne, he's 18, and let's
and he's confused because of TK's weird booking styles anyway. Let's be honest, I don't blame him.
Yeah, but do you know that last year he was the most booked independent wrestler and in the country, and Billy Starks was the second most? Well, that means that Nick Wayne wasn't going to school, and he probably has him in like his family probably a while ago decided he's going to be a professional wrestler, and he probably hasn't been doing much schoolwork for the last 3 or 4 years.
I mean, look at him. He looks a little bit, like a little dopey.
Yeah, he does. He does have a stupid look on his face, but he can't really help that.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
But anyway, that was irritating. Anyway, I was just trying to desperately get us over an hour. But yeah, B-.
Well, you did it. So we're officially over an hour. B- from Jeff. C+ was it from you, Chris?
C-
or minus,
Chris.
Or C-?
Yeah.
And for me,
minus. Yep.
Is there such a thing as just a B?
Yes,
that's what I said.
Sure.
Well, yeah, I just gave it a B because it was an enjoyable.
Did you go to school?
Well, I'm not sure. Nah. Well, it was I know. There's B. I mean, in this context, B- or plus. You know what I mean? That's what I meant.
No, there is. There's
not hepatitis C or.
There's that too.
There is that too. Anyway, guys. So yeah, that's a wrap, I guess. Sorry if we couldn't go another hour, but.
Is that a bless wrap or a little Dicky wrap?
I don't think it's either, to be honest. But maybe closer to Dicky. Dicky, you'll like little Dicky. He's funny
like
and.
Can we just?
No, you would. Knowing you, Jeff, you would laugh at what he says because he brings in a lot of like his Jewish culture.
I wouldn't understand what he says. I wouldn't understand the words he's speaking.
I'm sure you would actually in this case, but anyway, doesn't matter. So let's take it home. Go. Actually, before we do go, Jeff, you're usually the newsman. Was there anything we just need to touch on before we take it home?
No frickin' clue.
No clue, Chris. Anything?
I don't have anything else to talk about. No.
Well, neither do I. So in saying that, Chris, tell them where they can find you, bro.
Well, you can find me right here on PWC, on the HMG, on channelattitude.com. You can find me tomorrow morning. Actually, you can find all three of us tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock in the morning. That is Sunday, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. After the collision, we sift through the wreckage, and we're going to do that. You can find me on Twitter. I'm at ChrisSams1. You can find me on Facebook. If you are holding a replica championship belt in your picture, I'm not adding you. That's my rule. Yeah, that's pretty much where you can find me, guys.
Jeff?
Oh, I guess there was some news. Ring of Honor, Willow Nightingale is the new Ring of Honor Women's Champion, and Aussie Open is the new Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion. So the Lucha Brothers, I guess they join FTR and the Young Bucks as one of 3 teams to be both Ring of Honor and AEW Tag Team Champions. I don't think SCU ever held the Ring of Honor Championships. I believe the Addiction did.
Yes.
I could be wrong about that one. SCU might be in there. Anyway, aside from that, you can find me at Icarus Fell MD. You can find me TMC, PBS, being colonized, diverticulitis. I don't.
That's a lot of colonoscopies going on there.
Yeah, apparently I have a lot of Jewish wrestling to catch up. Jewish
Jewish wrestling.
Jewish rapping by Jewish wrestlers.
What's Jewish wrestling actually, Jeff? What does that involve?
It's Barry Horowitz and Paul Heyman freestyle.
Jewish wrestling isn't that just practicing law?
Yes, pretty much.
God damn it! When I laugh too hard, I start choking. Excuse me. That was good. That was good.
Plaintiffs' attorneys to fight each other. I mean, defense attorneys are all the goyim.
That's $1 million question there, Jeff. I mean, come on.
Oh, I know what it was. A Jewish plaintiff's attorney ran for the prosecutor, won. So the defense attorney is also Jewish, but the prosecutor is Jewish.
Hey, like Kanye West says, the Jews run this shit. You know what I mean? Like literally. And don't trust them, apparently, according to Yeah.
The Jews.
The Jews. The Jews.
How
yeah.
weird do
the
you
big
have
bad
to be
wolf.
to be afraid of Jewish people? Like, Jewish people are like the nicest people. Like, I'll tell you what, man. If you told me, like, you know, if you told me I got to choose, like, who my neighbors were, like, they would
get to
often
choose?
be Jewish. So, you know.
Well,
Don't
you know
be
what's
scared.
cool about...
It's weird.
Well, it is weird, but what's cool about American Jews, though, in particular, because I've noticed most of them are like this, they take, you know, they can take the piss on themselves, right? Here, if you meet a Jewish person, you'll be lucky that they tell you that they're Jewish because they're almost embarrassed to mention it. Do you know what I mean? So it's so night and day. It's weird, but I love that. I love that about American Jews. So I don't know what Kanye's problem is. I mean, Jesus, come on.
He's crazy. Kanye has serious mental issues. Is what his problem
Kanye's got 99 problems, and the bitch is one of them.
Yeah, I mean, shit.
And 4 or 5 more, probably.
Well, now he's married to an Australian chick. Funny enough, I don't even know who the fuck she is.
Please
Neither
be
does
Harley
anybody.
Cameron. Be Harley Cameron. Please be Harley.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great. Even she would absolutely take him to the cleaners, in my opinion. But anyway. Anyway. Well, the freaks do come at night every week here at Rampage UnCaged. And he's saying that if you want to follow me, you can on Twitter at DJ MassFX. And also you can follow us at the PWC Network. Like and subscribe right here at channelattitude.com, where for $5 you get the best talk in all of professional wrestling. And also at HaminMediaGroup.podbean.com for all our affiliate shows, including our favorite Jew down here, Dr. Jeff Lippman, where you get to see, or actually hear, Garden of Doom. And is Garden Views also on Hamin Media Group?
You bet it is.
It is. Well, there you go. And Garden Views. So in saying that, it's home time, boys. I am Jimmy T. That is the Chris Statlander, Chris Ambs. And that is... Olay indeed. And that is it Jeff Kennedy Lippman Jr.?
Just Jeff Kennedy Jr.
just Jeff Kennedy Jr.
Vote for me.
Vote for him indeed. Holla. Peace.
This goes don't open to after dark, and it ain't till 12 till the party really starts. And I always had to be home by 10, right before the fun was about to begin. Crowds of people lined inside and out, just for one reason, rock the house. But in the daytime, the streets was clear. You couldn't find a good freak anywhere, cause
the freaks come out at night. 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 The freaks come out at night.
Now when freaks get drunk to go out at night, they like to wear leather jackets, chains and spikes. They wear rips and zippers all in their shirts, real tight pants and fresh mini skirts. All kind of colors running through their hair, and you can just about spot a freak anywhere. But then again, you can know someone all their life and might not know they're a freak until you see them at night, cause
the freaks come out at night. 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 The freaks come out at night.
now the party's jumping, the place is packed. And when the crowd's like this, I'm ready to rap. But before I can bust a rhyme on the mic, freaks is all over me like white on rice. Freaks come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. But what I like about them most is they're real good lovers. They do it in the park, they do it in the dark. But most freaks are known for breaking hearts. You can never tell what a freak is thinking of, and you can never catch a freak without at least one glove. And they don't walk, when they step, they strut. 9 times out of 10, they drive you nuts. But take my advice, you don't stand a chance. Freaks are so bad, they got their own dance. So if you want to live a nice, quiet life, do yourself a favor, don't come out at night, cause
the freaks come out at night. 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 out at night.